So you want to be in the know, right? Get the crucial insights, but maybe without having to read through mountains of legal documents.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing here in this deep dive. We've been, digging through legal filings, regulatory stuff, news reports.
Right.
To unpack something pretty concerning. Basically, we want to show you what giants like Amazon, Apple, and Google are accused of hiding, and honestly, why it should probably shock you.
Okay. And the central thing, the really shocking part, is this alleged misuse of attorney-client privilege, using it to hide things.
That's the heart of it. A potentially deliberate strategy to keep critical information out of sight during these huge antitrust fights.
All right, let's get into it. First off, the power these companies wield is just immense. We're talking the Magnificent Seven tech stocks hitting a combined peak value of, $17.6 trillion late last year?
It's staggering. And beyond the money, think about market share. Google has 89% of global search. Apple's got over half the U.S. mobile market. Meta controls nearly 60% of social media.
That level of dominance.
Yeah.
It naturally raises flags, right? About fair markets competition. It sounds a lot like the concerns people had way back with, the old monopolies.
It does. And what's really fascinating and maybe disturbing is how this power might bleed into their legal tactics. Attorney-client privilege.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be straightforward.
Yeah, it lets you talk honestly with your lawyer to get advice protected.
Right. But the accusation here with Amazon and Google specifically is that they were marking tons of documents as privileged, even when they weren't really legal communications.
Just to shield them from investigators.
That's the allegation. Not just finding a loophole, but maybe a calculated strategy for an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Keeping regulators guessing about what was really going on.
And the scale with Amazon, the FTC says they improperly withheld almost 70,000 documents. 70,000.
It's a huge number, and here's where it gets really wild. A judge ordered this special review, an in-camera review, where the judge looks privately.
Okay.
After that order, Amazon just withdrew 92% of its privilege claims on those documents.
92%. Wait, they just gave up on hiding them.
92%. And the judge, looking at a sample, found only one single sentence was actually privileged.
Wow, just one sentence.
Yeah. So the FTC basically said, look, this can't have been an accident. They even found internal chat mentioning Jeff Bezos, the former CEO, calling him Amazon's chief dark arts officer regarding Prime subscriptions. Shady world, they called it.
A chief dark arts officer. That doesn't sound great.
Not exactly confidence-inspiring. And if you connect that alleged mindset, that potential concealment, to what the FTC is actually suing Amazon for, things like anti-discounting practices, maybe biasing search results, pushing sellers towards their expensive fulfillment services for Prime eligibility.
Right, the core antitrust complaints.
Exactly. Those 70,000 documents might have held key evidence about all that. The FTC even claims there were instructions, like emails telling employees to keep marking docs and emails as privileged, sometimes just by copying a lawyer unnecessarily.
So actively trying to bury things.
Suggests a pattern, yeah.
Okay, so that's Amazon. But Google's facing similar accusations from the Department of Justice, right? Something about a Communicate with Care program.
Yes, exactly. The DOJ alleges this wasn't just haphazard, it was a formal program. Instructions, they say, for employees to essentially fabricate requests for legal advice.
Fabricate, like make them up.
Make them up. Add a lawyer to an email, slap on a generic requesting legal advice line, even if it was just sensitive business talk they wanted to shield.
Just to make it look privileged later on.
That's the claim. And apparently the in-house lawyers often knew the game, as the DOJ put it. They didn't even necessarily respond to these fake requests.
Unbelievable. So the lawyers were in on it.
The DOJ argues the program had no purpose except to mislead. They said it made Google's privilege log, the list of documents they claim are protected, basically useless.
And how many documents are we talking about here?
Tens of thousands, initially withheld or heavily redacted based on this program.
Tens of thousands again. What could they possibly be hiding?
Well, the DOJ links this directly to Google's alleged illegal monopolies in search and advertising technology. They make the pretty stark argument that this dominance lets Google potentially censor and even deplatform American voices.
Wow, okay. That takes it beyond just business competition.
It definitely raises the stakes. It suggests the impacts could be much broader than just market dynamics.
So what happens now? What are the consequences of all this alleged hiding?
Well, for the Amazon case, the FTC says this concealment badly hampered their investigation, delayed everything, gave Amazon a, quote, enormous, entirely unfair strategic advantage.
Right, because the FTC couldn't see the potentially damaging stuff for ages.
Exactly. So now the FTC is asking the court for more time, 90 days, more discovery, and they want Amazon to foot the bill for the extra legal costs caused by this.
Makes sense. But thinking bigger picture, what does this mean for, everyone else, for you listening?
That's the key question. If powerful companies can use these tactics to fend off antitrust scrutiny, it can entrench their dominance. Less competition often means, well, higher prices for you, fewer choices.
And maybe less innovation. Smaller companies getting squeezed out.
Precisely. It creates this potential cycle where legal maneuvering helps protect potentially harmful economic behavior. And it's not just Amazon and Google. Remember, Apple's also under fire for its walled garden.
Ah, yeah, the iPhone ecosystem.
Right. Things like making messaging between iPhones and Androids worse. Those green bubbles aren't just annoyances. The argument is they're deliberate exclusionary tactics to keep people locked into the iPhone. Protecting that smartphone monopoly makes it harder for you to switch.
It feels like history repeating itself, in a way. You mentioned Standard Oil, AT&T, Microsoft.
Exactly. And those big antitrust cases, while messy, arguably led to more competition and innovation in the long run. It sort of pushes back against the idea that antitrust action automatically kills progress.
And now, maybe data is the new oil. All the user information these companies gather gives them a massive edge.
A huge edge. Plus raises all sorts of privacy questions. And there's this concern about captured innovation or kill zones where big tech might just buy up promising startups to neutralize them as future competitors.
Plus, they spend enormous amounts on lobbying, right? Trying to influence the rules.
Significant amounts,
Right.
which raises questions about political influence, too. Some potential fixes being discussed are things like breaking up companies or forcing them to make their systems work together, interoperability, letting you move your data easily.
So when you boil it all down, the shocking part is the seriousness of these allegations, right? Powerful companies potentially deliberately hiding evidence on a massive scale.
Yeah, it's not about small mistakes. The scale and the alleged intent behind misusing attorney-client privilege. That's what's deeply concerning.
And it matters to you listening because it could directly impact your wallet, your choices, the tech you use, your privacy, maybe even the information you see online.
Absolutely.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Given this immense power and these alleged tactics, what does it really mean for the future, for fair competition online, for the integrity of our legal system, even democracy? And what does it mean for your data, your digital life? That's the real deep dive.